Tropical Storm Barry continues to linger off the coast of Louisiana this evening, now at position 28.5 north, 90.5 west. 65 mile an hour winds and a pressure of 993 millibars says that it's still intensifying at 6 p.m. Central Time this July 12th. It's now swung back to Marsh Island for a potential landfall in the early hours of July 13th. That's not set in stone, it could be somewhere else. By this point it doesn't matter so much. Rainfall will remain the biggest threat, although it could make landfall as a hurricane. As such, it's a stage 4 on the CDPS with a significant wind field that is only growing at this time, particularly towards the southeastern side. So here it is depicted on the map right now. And this is in relation to local population centers. 57 miles from Grand Isle, 102 now from New Orleans, 141 from Baton Rouge, 149 from Lafayette, and 203 from Lake Charles. All those numbers lower than they were this morning. Hurricane warning still in effect for Intracoastal City to Grand Isle. Tropical storm warning for the mouth of the Pearl River to Grand Isle and Lake Pontchartrain and Lake Maurepas and Intracoastal City to Cameron. Hurricane watches and tropical storm watches are also in effect. A storm surge warning remains in effect for Intracoastal City to Biloxi, Mississippi and Lake Pontchartrain, with a storm surge watch extending further east. So that will also be another threat from this storm, along with up to 20 inches of rainfall possible in the next 5 days. Looking at this graphic here, you can see the spread of the rainfall over the United States, particularly the Mississippi Valley, as we continue through the weekend into the early part of next week. Large parts as far up as Memphis will receive maybe 6 inches of rain or more. And as I say, 20 inches, maybe even isolated amounts above 20 inches in parts of southeastern Louisiana. Sea surface temperatures are currently very warm, around 28 or 29 degrees Celsius where the storm is right now, and that will only provide more fuel for Barry. This is the latest GFS model run, which has the storm wobbling a little bit and then eventually making landfall early on Saturday morning, moving inland and then eventually weakening quite significantly. The timing of that landfall is still something that we can't quite predict properly yet, but best guess at the minute is that it'll be somewhere around daybreak on Saturday morning, but it could happen sooner if it speeds up, or if it does decide it wants to have a wobbly phase or a stalling phase, which would be even worse for that rainfall. Then we could be looking at a later landfall. As of right now, chance of tropical storm force winds near certain in some areas. 99% in Morgan City, 97% in Lafayette, 95% in Baton Rouge, 84% in New Orleans, and 76% chance in Lake Charles, with percentages rising elsewhere too. Local National Weather Service offices showing the nighttime temperatures tonight in the Tallahassee region there, falling to the 70s. Mobile showing that rain threat elevated further west you go in that region. New Orleans showing that significant threat of flash flooding. The pink areas there showing a high chance of flash flooding, a big area. Lake Charles showing the hurricane warning and the tropical storm warning in those colors there, covering a wide part of that area. And Houston putting out the key messages from the National Hurricane Center. Inland, Jackson also having a significant threat, up to 12 inches of rain further south near Hattiesburg. This is the latest satellite imagery of what Barry is looking like right now, and you can see it's still large parts of the convection displaced towards the south. The longer that remains the case, the better, because model runs had build-up of rainfall starting to occur this evening, and that will of course contribute to that 20 inches of rain that we're expecting. If it is delayed, then we could be possibly seeing a little bit less in terms of rainfall, but I think we're still going to be seeing a major rain event here. Hopefully it will be steady and not sharp. That's all for now. We'll have more updates throughout the evening. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com. You can also find our YouTube channel. If you're not there already, you may well be. Good chance of that. Subscribe if you haven't. You can also find our Facebook page, search Force 13 all in text, and our Twitter handle. It's @Force13 on there. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron. You can see more information about all the benefits involved by visiting patreon.com/Force13. You can also contact me on Discord. It's Fool13 at extension 9094 and Force13 on Skype You can also find our server link to our Discord server for tropical weather chat in our description.